Hello, mathematical thinkers, 5th grade math students. Today's lesson is some additional work on positive and negative integers. We looked at some real life situations with positive and negative numbers, and now we're going to look at some addition and subtraction examples. So here we have a number line with integers on the line. And if you remember, I talked about the number line and I faced the class facing forward. And when I was going to be adding numbers and talking about the positive side of the number line, I faced left. And when I was going to be subtracting, I faced right. So I have my little guy here who's going to be doing some movement on the number line. So the first thing that we see is we're going to flip him. So he is facing this way on the number line. He's facing to the left. So he was looking at you and then he turned to the left. He started at 2 and then to that 2, he added 6. He's going to walk forward for adding a positive number. So he had 2 and he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 plus 6 is a positive 8. In the next example, he started at -5. There he is. He's still facing left because it is an addition problem. And he's still going to walk forward because he's adding 8, a positive 8. So he starts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A -5 and a positive 8 puts him at a positive 3. Now we come down to this problem. He is at -5. But this time it's a subtraction problem, so we need to flip him. He's going to be facing the other way. And he's going to walk backwards for negative numbers. He's going to be subtracting a -8. He walks forward for positive numbers, backwards for negative numbers. So he's going to walk backwards. Let's get him moving here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And where did he end up? At a positive 3. So let's click. There's our line. He was at -5. He walked backwards for negative numbers, okay? And he landed at 3. Some additional examples. This time, I'm going to position the arrows on the number lines to represent the problem, and I'll move my little guy. So the first thing is that he's going to start at -3. There he is. To that -3, there's going to be an additional -7. And he's going to move that additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? This is actually an addition problem, so I'm going to turn him. He was at -3. He walks backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to represent that -7. Now, sometimes people write this problem in this way. -3 plus an additional -7. When we do that, we find out that we are at -10. Here's my answer. Pull that out. -3 plus a -7 is a -10. Okay, let's look at the next set of arrows. So I've got a -4. Have to use these arrows. Here we go. A -4, and let's bring our guy here. Okay, we're doing an addition problem. So there he is facing the correct direction. To that -4, we're going to add a -5. So he's facing this way. Negative numbers go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A -4 plus a -5 gives me how many negative numbers altogether? Negative 9. Last example. This time we're going to be subtracting. So we're going to turn him. And first we've got 2. And that's where he's starting, 2. We're going to subtract from that a negative 4. So he's facing the direction for subtraction. Negative numbers walk backwards. So he's walking backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where does he land? He lands at 6. Another way to write this, and we learned this in our math textbook, that when we have a subtraction of negative numbers, we change that subtraction to an addition problem, and we write the opposite or inverse of the other number. So the opposite or inverse of negative 4 is 4. So now we've got 2 plus 4. Again, we changed that subtraction sign to an addition sign. We wrote the inverse or the opposite of negative 4, which is positive 4. Those balance each other out. A negative 4 and a positive 4 would equal 0. And when we look at our answer to 2 plus 4, we see that we get 6. And that's where he is. So here we're going to be looking at writing number sentences. So this first picture shows 5 plus 5. And if we were going to be putting numbers in our box, we'd have 5 plus 5 equals 10. Now how are we going to do that same thing with a subtraction problem? Well, first we're subtracting. Let's take our pen, and we've got a 5. But now we want to subtract a number so that we end up at 10. So we're facing the right way for subtraction. How far, if our little guy is on 10, how far back will he walk? Because he walks backwards for negative numbers. And if he's facing the way he is right here, okay, correct way for subtraction, he needs to walk backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to that 10. So he's going to subtract a negative 5 to still land at 10. So 5 plus a positive 5 is the same as subtracting a negative 5. The result is the same. Adding 5 to 5 is the same as subtracting a negative 5 from 5. And let's pull this out, and we see that 5 plus 5 equals 10, or 5 minus a negative 5 equals 10. So let's go down. So we're going to decide what's happening here. It's a plus. We're going to flip him around. So our little guy starts at negative 8. And we add to that 3. So with my pen, we've got a negative 8. And to that, we added 3 because he walked forward for positive number 1, 2, 3. Where did he end up? When he started at negative 8, moved forward 3, he ended at negative 5. So negative 8 plus 3 equals negative 5. What happens? There it is, negative 8 plus 3. What happens here? We now are subtracting. We're going to flip him. Oops. So here he is. All right. And he's at negative 8. All right. And with our pen, -8. But we're going to be subtracting what number to get him to -5? Well, remember he's going to be moving backwards for negative numbers. He's going to move 1, 2, 3. So we're going to subtract a -3 to end up with a -5. So we've got a -8 plus 3 equals -5, or a -8 minus a -3 equals -5. Let's pull that out, and that's exactly what you see there. So here we're going to be determining what's the missing number. Again, if I start at 4, what do I need to subtract to end up at -5? So I start here at 4. How am I going to get to -5? Well, here I am at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like I'm going to be subtracting 9. 4 minus 9 brings me to a -5. Let's look at how it shows. 4 going this way minus 9 going that way equals a -5. Let's do it down here. So we're at -3. What will we add to -3? We're going this direction to get to 10. Well, if we're here, it looks like we're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like we need 13. So if it's 3 degrees below 0 and we want to get to 10 degrees, the temperature has to rise 13 degrees. So let's look at that. -3 going this way to the right 13 to reach 10 degrees or +10. So I would like you to do some practice. You may pause the video. You can get a piece of paper, and there are 4 practice problems right here where you are adding or subtracting numbers. And then in class tomorrow, we'll do some additional practice. I'll just move ahead. You can pause the video right now. I will move ahead to the next slide to show you the additional practice. Going back to that real life situation, the temperature is 8 degrees. How many degrees would it drop to end up at 0? You can see these 4 problems have to do with temperature and the rising and falling of temperatures. So you can do these 8 practice problems, bring your results to class, and we will talk about them.